trafficking. And we contract with anti-trafficking organizations like Safe Horizon and GEMS to provide on-site assessment and mentoring services at our children's center, through which many of these young people travel. Not long ago, the executive director of our Office of Child Trafficking Prevention and Policy came in contact with a teen whose pimp's initials had been tattooed on her forehead. Seeking a solution, we reached out to medical professionals with experience in tattoo removal, and in true New York City fashion, many of them stepped up to offer their expertise. And so our New York City Child Tattoo Eradication Network began. Our tattoo removal program has 3 goals. First, to ensure that all ACS-involved youth have the opportunity to safely remove exploiter or gang brandings. Second, to help reduce the trauma that is associated with the horrible experiences that they have been through. And third, to provide training to medical professionals on trafficking and gang dynamics so that they can recognize them when they're working with young people. Already, several other youth have expressed interest in having their tattoos removed in order to move on with their lives positively through employment, education, or other opportunities. And the New York City Child Tattoo Eradication Network is a completely confidential program, so we encourage all interested and eligible youth to contact us for more details. Before I wrap up, I want to say how thankful we at ACS are to the committed medical professionals who've offered pro bono services to help some of the most vulnerable children in New York City. And I especially want to thank Selena Higgins, who is the executive director of our Office of Child Trafficking Prevention and Policy, for her work in helping to get this program off the ground. It would not have happened without Selena. Thank you very much, Selena. And now we will turn things over to Dr. Dave.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm Dr. Dave Oys. I run a project called the Fresh Start Tattoo Removal Program to remove tattoos for formerly incarcerated, former gang members, and survivors of human trafficking. I want to thank the Commissioner and Selena Higgins for putting this program together, which shows a lot of wisdom and a lot of compassion. The idea, as you've heard already, is to remove tattoos from at-risk, well, not at-risk, the survivors of human trafficking. They're branded with ink by their pimp, owner, etc. And it's really wonderful to help them. And all I'd like to say is that you understand that you're removing a tattoo, which is technically not that difficult. But in exchange, you're giving these children and young adults, you're giving them hope, which is intangible. But I've seen it happen. When you get the tattoo off their face or neck and remove it for them, they have hope that they did not have before of this hopeless situation, this branding that they felt was lifelong and permanent. We show them that it isn't, and it gives them hope that they can have a better life going forward. And I want to thank them for allowing me and Dr. Legere and the other doctors to participate to provide this really, really helpful and useful service, which shows a lot of kindness and compassion on the part of New York City, and I really appreciate to be part of that. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Dave. And now I'd like to introduce Inspector James Klein, who is the director of the NYPD Human Trafficking Unit. Inspector Klein.
Thank you, Commissioner. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to thank the Commissioner for giving me this opportunity to speak. I'm very proud of the work my detectives do every single day in combating trafficking here in New York City. In the 2 years that I've been in charge of the Vice Enforcement Division, we've rescued nearly 130 individuals from trafficking. With that said, we realize it's not a law enforcement issue, it's a societal issue. So I'm extremely proud to stand here before the Dr. Dave and Dr. Marie and thank them for joining our combat to fight sex trafficking in New York City. It's really important to understand that these young people who are forced into trafficking are carrying around a brand that their trafficker, their pimp, put on them to show his ownership or their ownership, and to be able to get that removed at no cost to the victim is a tremendous step forward for our victims. So I want to say thank you. I want to applaud their commitment. I want to applaud their volunteerism, and I just want to applaud this entire project. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's get this. Why don't we get this secured before we take questions here? Not sure how this was secured to the podium. Let's see. This will work. Yes. Make sure we don't lose Murphy's. Yes.
Maybe it was just like that.
Okay, great. Selena and Dr. Lee, why don't you come up? These are really the experts on the project, so they can probably answer questions as well or better than I can. And we'll now take any questions you may have.
Right now, we have 3 doctors who volunteered their time and expertise to help our children. But we're actually hoping that this press conference opens up the opportunity to many more doctors, and we truly hope that you out there watching this will volunteer also.
And can you elaborate, just for us maybe uninitiated, on who exactly is eligible? You said ACS involved. What does that mean exactly? What does the teen or the youth have to do to
Well, our agency is New York City's Public Child Welfare Agency. So we work with the children who are involved in the Public Child Welfare Agency. That means any child who is receiving services from us in any aspect of services. So we provide services on multitudes of levels: foster care, preventive service, family strengthening services. So any child is eligible within the child welfare system. If there is a child out there who is not within the child welfare system, we will be happy to refer them onwards, but we wouldn't be the actual one doing the connection to a provider.
And I might add to that, if I might just add to that a little bit. Obviously, as I said, our priority here and the reason why we launched the project is to help youth who've been gang affiliated or otherwise sexually exploited. So that will be our priority. We'll respond as quickly as we can to them. Within that group, because our goal is to help young people move on with their lives, the most important thing, of course, is tattoos that may be visible on their body that could impact their ability to work, to go to school, to re-engage with positive developments in their lives. And then, of course, other tattoos that may be hidden but may also be certainly very traumatizing to them. And then, as Selena said, there are other young people who are involved in our child welfare system who we also want to make sure have every opportunity they have to move on to successful adulthood. So as we develop our capacity, as we hopefully have more volunteers, medical professionals, we'll expand our ability to reach out to more and more young people.
And if you could all speak up too, because there's a lot of noise on the screen. What age group of children and youth are affected by this that you're seeing?
Well, children primarily in their teens, but we see sometimes children who are trafficked even younger than their teens. Any child of any age, any adult of any age can be trafficked, of course. Gangs, the children are generally in the teen age area, but ACS works with children from birth up until the age of 18, and after that if they're still in foster care. So any child that's within our realm, we will work with.
The tattoo usually takes 10 to 15 treatments to remove it completely. I always recommend that the tattoo be altered prior to removal, that is changing the letters of an F to say 2 boxes, if you know what I mean, such that during the year-long process it takes to remove the tattoo, it no longer says or means what it did. So you can immediately remove the meaning by altering it with a little additional ink, a couple of lines. The treatment itself might be 20, 30 seconds, that's it. And then you wait 6 weeks to do the second treatment. A face tattoo could cost you a couple of grand, $1,500, $2,000 by the time it's done. It's just prohibitive. They can't do it. And it's a catch-22 because they can't get the job because tattoo on their face, and you understand. So if for 20 seconds of my time, you're giving a person a different life, hope, and a job. So it's tremendously, a really big payoff in terms of return, social return on investment. Well, Selena Higgins and the commissioner arranged for 3 different doctors to do this with the ACS. I'm Fresh Start Removal Tattoo Organization. I work with about 15 or 20 places around the country. We're national. I'm doing it for like almost 10, 12 years I've been doing this. And I try to get laser providers all over the country to join, so they could be in any city, anywhere, because this problem is common to all states and cities in the nation. especially trafficking. And so we try to get laser providers. As Selena said, we're always very happy to accept the help of laser providers anywhere who would want to help remove a tattoo pro bono.
I'd also like to bring up Dr.
Thank you.
Marie Legere, who is also a member of our network. And Dr. Marie is a dermatologist and a researcher in tattoo removal. Would you like to add something, Marie?
Sure.
Please spell your name for us, please.
Yes, my name's Dr. Marie Legere. My last name's spelled Leger. And I'm a dermatologist and a tattoo expert on tattoo complications as well as tattoo removal. And I work at Metro Dermatology in Elmhurst, Queens. And we're really excited to be able to help in any way we can. We see the impact on self-esteem of removing tattoos, especially from the most vulnerable populations, and we're really excited to be able to help.
Can we ask the representative from the NYPD about
Please.
Would you say the sex trafficking program is growing? I mean, the sex trafficking is growing in New York City. And can you give us an idea of the age range of the 130 victims that you provided in the news of this year?
I think the sex trafficking problem in New York City exists, whether it's growing or it's at its levels. It's just being more people are becoming aware of what's going on, so they're coming forward. The ages that we're looking at individuals that come that we are able to rescue from this life, we start as young as 12, and we go as high as 35, 36. Each individual has their own life story. Each has been cast into this hell of trafficking by their trafficker, and it's just like I said earlier. It's not a law enforcement issue; it's a societal issue. So standing here with Dr. Dave and Dr. Marie and the commissioner and Selena, it's something that we look forward to. Collaboration. We work with ACS all the time. Some of our clients are their clients. But we see these marks, these brands on these kids. It's heartbreaking, and to see that they're going to be able to get them removed, it's a tremendous step in the right direction.
Inspector, how frequently do you encounter trafficking survivors who do have some sort of minor or formerly affiliated gang members too? Is this something how frequently is it practiced?
I don't know that I identify a trafficking victim as a gang member, as a gang victim. We run into gang persons who are in gangs who are traffickers on a routine basis. We've arrested numerous gang members over the past 2 years that have been involved in trafficking. It's something I'm very proud of. It's something we do every single day. We're always out there looking to identify victims so we can rescue them, but as well as identify perpetrators who are really modern-day slavers who are, trafficking young people. And it doesn't mean male, it doesn't mean a female, or it could be anyone. So we're out there every single day, and we ask you to raise awareness too, to let the people know we're here and let us help you.
I could say one word. Excuse me. Fresh Start, to give you a sense, we have 3,400 people waiting in line right now to have their tattoos that are from trafficking or gang related to be removed. That's 3,400 that I have myself who are waiting for this help.
Dr. Could I just ask you, how might the process, as a provider, how does the process differ with someone who is having either a trafficking related tattoo or gang related tattoo removed as opposed to someone who just wants it done cosmetically? What steps will it take to try to get these folks through the process?
The technology is identical with, in my project, and usually with formerly gang and formerly incarcerated, we remove tattoos on the face, neck, and hands so they can do job interview and jobs or get promoted in their job, get better work, or get some hope about, if they're in a program for employment or learning how to do their resume, et cetera, you take the tattoo off their face and there's hope for them. With the tattoo on their face, they won't even take that training because they say, why bother? But it's face, hands, and neck is the restriction, I would say, for gang and incarcerated. But with survivors of trafficking, the tattoo can be anywhere on their body. And we do that not just for employment, but for psychological, emotional, and spiritual recovery. And that tattoo can be anywhere. And like I mentioned before, altering the tattoo with a little bit of ink, a couple of lines, is really key because then the meaning is instantly gone. That's the power of the thing. So you don't have that name on you anymore. It just looks like hieroglyphics. And then you remove that over the year, and as that fades, we'll never, ever, ever, ever again say the word or symbol that it said in the first place. So that's a little bit of a distinction.
Can I also add that one of the differences is that our program is trauma informed. So it's not just a matter of removing a tattoo, which is imperative to not only psychological health, but sometimes to actual physical safety. But there is a counseling component that goes along with this, because removing the tattoo is just one aspect of removing the trauma bond from the trafficker. So the counseling is as important as the actual tattoo removal to help this person move on to a positive life.
Is there more of a responsive aspect?
So ACS is a very trauma-informed agency. We always work with the client where they're at. We understand their background, where they want to go, what their needs are. And so we ensure that at the time of the request for a referral for tattoo removal, that this child is also referred to appropriate services from a service provider with expertise in working with trafficked or gang-involved youth. Well, the primary location, of course, happens through ACS, through the Office of Child Trafficking Prevention and Policy, because it is the city's public child welfare agency, and these are the children affiliated with. So the referrals come through OCTPP, and then they are passed on to the providers, Dr. Oys and Dr. Legere, and we have one other doctor currently, based upon whoever has the availability for that particular aspect of tattoo removing.
So I'm in Manhattan, you're in Queens now?
Yes.
Queens, Manhattan, the other doctor is in...
So he's also in Manhattan. The third doctor is in Manhattan. Yes, but we are definitely looking for more volunteers. Yes.
And let me say, maybe we'll close on this note, that really one of the reasons we're doing this event today, two reasons. One is because we're hoping to identify more medical professionals who are willing to join this effort so we can serve more young people, but also to get the word out to young people that the service is now available to them. If they are, as Selena said, if they are ACS involved in some way, we will make sure that they are a priority for referral to one of the providers we have. And in any case, we'll do our best to make sure that they receive services we need. So we appreciate all of you being here today to help us get the word out, both to medical professionals, but more importantly, to the young people who deserve to have this service so that they can move on with their lives in a positive way. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Commissioner.
And George?
So we have brochures for all of you with the email address, how to go ahead and reach us. It's called